Hello from Safonova. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about collection and let's start with the definition.
Despite of expectation, it would be not about collection of pieces of something like post stamps or postcards. It would be about money. When people take a loan from the bank or some other credit institution, they will be reminded in some period of time that it is a period of due, so they should give some money back. And if it will not happen, this would start a process of collection. Collection is a process how to ensure or guarantee revenue and prevent the fraud which could occur while you give money to the people. So it has several stages. For example, first we'll call like the soft collection. It will just kind reminder by the call. Then would be hard collection. It would be like letters or maybe even appeals to the court. And third, it would be even sales of the property of the person because it should cover the loan which was not given back in time.
And well, obviously, it's quite a big topic, and could have like a different branches, but probably we'll look into more like a general stuff and maybe more like a tech interesting stuff. So first, let's say if we in some sort of like a bank or financial institution, if we do want to proceed with all of this, like if we do want to set up a collection, do we need some sort of like a licensing? Because as you rightfully say, there could be like a different levels of it, and to act like as a collection, either agency or as a collection body, you need to have some sort of like a permissions from the government.
It depends how well developed the law in your country. For example, when we start to give money in Ukraine, it was like 2004, and there were no laws at all. So you could come to the door and knock at the night, and you could even threat people by the phone. But it's very shortly was finished. It was several laws issued in Ukraine, in Russia, and in some other countries. And it was prohibited to call, for example, in non-working hours, to talk about the debt with people which are not related to the person, like his boss or his bookkeeper or maybe HR manager. And third, a lot of banks and microfinancial organizations, they decided not to risk by their licenses. As you rightfully said, you need a license if you want to give money per percent. And it was a special kind of business occur, and its name was like collection agencies, and they are buying portfolio of bad debts from the banks, and then they could, with discount for surely, and they could process as they want because they have no license, they have not such a strict regulations, and they are not afraid about bad bad reviews.
Review or making their hands dirty.
Making their hands dirty, much better. Thank you.
And well, actually, if we're looking at it, I would say like from the business point of view. So let's say there is like a collection agency that is up and running, and we also do want to be more or less profitable because basically every communication, every step that we make, it will cost us money. That means, at certain point of time, it could be like a zero or maybe like a negative sum game. So whether there is like a certain calculations in how to managing this portfolio of debts and making decisions like what to do with them.
Okay, I will give you several stages how people could think and how they should make design of the process. First, you should know the credit to debt ratio on the market. For example, when I was working in Ukraine, it was like 10%. So you should put 10% in the price of the loan because those money wouldn't be given back by statistics. Second, you should also understand that you will spend some money to make SMS sending and email sending and calls, and even walk people also by foot would come to the doors. Third, you will go to the court, so you should put in the process those money. And last chance, you could sell your portfolio of debts to the agency. An agency would buy this portfolio of debts according to the activity. For example, if last 3 months, each period, like months, you will get like 1.5% of the money. It's quite a good portfolio. It's called life. You will be paid for it like, I don't know, maybe 40%. If you will have from this portfolio like 1.0% of the money monthly, you will sell it for 30%. If you will, for example, have like 0.1%, so just 10 parts of the percent, you could sell this portfolio just for 7%. So it's depend from the activity, how active people pay. In such a way, some banks, and I was also doing such a tricks, you could massage your portfolio. So you could make a lot of calls just before you start to sell your portfolio, and in 2 or 3 months you will have like agitage, and a lot of people would pay a small amount of money, but anyway it would look like your portfolio is quite live. But some agencies well qualified, and they will say, okay, we will pay you half a price of which what you are asking for, and then we will start to work, and all this money will come to special accounts in your bank, in your financial institution, so you will know exactly what is happening on. And if the flood of the money would much lower, that maybe you will not get your second payment.
And when it comes to actually the process of returning the money between the retail customer, or maybe it's also could be a business customer, and again, like we also will speak about it separately too. So how exactly it sets? For example, if the portfolio already was bought out from the bank, that means the collection agency also will need to set up some sort of like a vehicle to collect the money, and maybe, like some sort of like a ledger account to distribute them, to make sure that, like everything flows into the right directions and the analytics is not skewed, and at least they can, control the flows. So how exactly this happens when it comes to the settlements, when, like they get everything back?
It's quite tricky, and maybe we will give some secrets to our listeners and watchers, and it would be like a prize for my not the best softly said language. Okay, there are several ways. First, when you will bought a portfolio of bad debts, you will send to everyone. You are forced by the law to send special letter. Okay, your portfolio, your debt now is owned not by the ABC Bank, by XYZ collection agency. And usually we collect the money in duration of 3 months. So be prepared to work fast, because we will go to the court immediately. And once more, I will repeat why it's happening, because bank also want to attract customers. And if you will collect hard from neighbors and other people who watch this, they wouldn't seek credit in your company. So bank is always quite polite and very even maybe lazy, slow and lazy. But collection agency, they want to work in pressure and hard, and they would go by the second letter, and it would be like a pre-court request. So if you will not contact us in 1 week to make a settlement, we will go to the court. They go to court, and for sure they have, I don't know how to say in Russian, we call it прикормленный суд.
I would say
Refitted.
loyal, affiliated.
Okay.
Yeah.
They will go to affiliated court, not because they give some money, but because this court well know of the procedures, or the judge know. So they will give just cases which are inevitably would be in the court going to the right decision. So a lot of people would be forced by the marshals and by the court to be paid. And then people who are not paying, they also will get special letter. Okay, now we are working with not your part of the portfolio, but you become close to your debt. And our usual statistics shows that 60% of the people paying us such a sum in a short period of time. So if you wish not to go to court, make us a call or something like this. And on the last stage, if, for example, person are trying to hide, or maybe court is saying, okay, something is missing, like a signature, like a stamp, or maybe some paper, then a collection agency will not give up, and they will come to you and say something like this: okay, you are a smart person and something like this, we are ready to give you like 30% discount if you will pay in 1 week. And if you bought the portfolio in a 40% discount, to make a 30% discount to your debtor, it's quite a good deal.
Well, and if we look into how modern world develop, given that it could be used different tools to to see for the person, to make sure that we know who they are, like we know how much money they're potentially getting, we know how to use anything that would help us to return the money. Whether collection agencies, I would say, are modern enough and fast enough, and I would say even diplomatic and smart enough in order to use the modern technology to make their money flowing back faster.
A bank is quite limited in resources how to check person. And once more, I will tell you what I was already pronounced on the lectures. At first stage, bank thinks if it able to give you a loan, and then it decide which percent should be used. In collection agency, there are much more analytics, because if you are going to the bank, you have your documents, you have your face, and you could be checked up by the person who works for the bank. But if collection agency already own the bad debts, maybe you give a wrong number, maybe you give a wrong photo, maybe you wear a mask, maybe you will some kind of roster with a document. So collection agency should use special tools like, for example, clusterization, segmentation, typization, and they will divide the portfolio for several layers, like easy one, difficult one, and unknown, like gray zone. And they first will press like a butter from the sunflower seeds. It's okay to say?
Sunflower seeds, yes.
And the name of it is butter, yes? Or oil? Or
it's
oil?
Oil.
Oil from sunflower seeds. Okay, thank you. So the faster you will get it, the more chances to work with portfolio you have, because collection agency has simultaneously like 20, 50 portfolios, and project managers, they are fighting for people who will call, who will walk, who will go to the court, and they also have some period of time to work with portfolio. For example, it would be like 3 months for soft collection, 2 months for pre-court collection, and then 1 year for collection. And after 3 months, for example, if I am a project manager for this portfolio, I couldn't ask for soft collection because I missed my chance. The time, it is like a time limited offer.
Well, and I do believe we covered all of the aspects of the collection and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.